Here at the Giver Marketing Network, we don't leave you drifting out in space. We connect you to a coach who will help you build and grow your marketing business. Our process acts as a guide on how to connect with other businesses, maintain good relations, and establish a presence on the Giver Marketing Network. Each member within this collaborative group will have the opportunity to leverage your talent and influence, a true network effect. If you are looking to collaborate on more projects, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network, the most trusted and highest rated collective of specialists on the planet. Here we have a group of like-minded professionals who focus on making valuable introductions and helping each other grow by teaming up. Imagine Upwork meets a network and a coach. The talent collectively includes services like visibility and SEO, creating logos, designing websites, managing social media, outreach messaging, visual storytelling, and much more. Think of what you could do with laser-focused allies strengthening your business while offering your talents to the entire network. Click near this video for more information.
Timothy, I can't hear you.
Hey, welcome everybody. It's good to have you here. We're here with Deane. She's going to be dropping some nuggets for you. If you're an author, a consultant, a coach, an entrepreneur, a speaker, this broadcast is for you. Deane is the networking diva. She is also what I would consider a modern day tech stack queen. Okay, she's going to help you get your game to that level where you want to be as an influencer, thought leader, thought-provoking leader, author, consultant, entrepreneur, speaker, of course. But what do we call these folks the aces in your world?
Yeah, these are the aces. This is your authors, coaches, consultants, your entrepreneurs, your speakers. There's just a special type of tech stack that they use specifically. This is a lot about visibility. All right. They're huge on the hi, hello, here I am, come find me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got to be visible and dialed in to some degree on everything that you're doing, at least to a place where people feel comfortable to work with you. And so this smooth operation that you're trying to build so that people don't feel like they're getting like, oh, I couldn't access your thing, or I couldn't find you in this way, or I couldn't log into this. We make it easy. Deane makes it easy for you to do that as somebody who has this knowledge, this message to share. And so, Deane, let's dive in. This is your baby. This is your sweet spot. I'm here to ask questions, but take it away, my friend.
Yeah, this is what I love to do. I find a lot of times people are overwhelmed by technology. So this is this tech stack that I love to use with all the coaches and authors that I work with, right? So let's just go on a journey. So I'm going to start off by saying the backbone of your business, you absolutely, positively need a CRM. Okay. If you are not organized, all your leads fall through the cracks. You can't reach out to people. My favorite thing is I love Go High Level, and there's different versions, different white label versions. And so they have similar features, right? But the basics of it, this is your all-in-one platform for marketing, right? So this is where you can do your landing pages. This is where you can do your email campaigns, your text message campaigns, right? So this ties in nicely with your website. So you want to keep all these things nice and tight. This way you get organized. Without systems in place, forget it. You're going to get lost. Your clients can't reach out to you, and you can't have productive conversations because nobody knows what anybody else is doing, right? So this is it. You absolutely must have a CRM of some sort. This is what we're using with Giver Marketing, is a version of this. I use it with my business. So this is a great way to go. Once you dive in, you start realizing, like, how in the world did I live without you? right?
Yeah.
So this is absolutely it. You need to have this. If you do not have a CRM, please make an appointment with somebody and get a CRM started. I can't tell you, but I have a whole box of business cards. No. You got to do something with them. Okay. So that is not your CRM. Your CRM nowadays needs to be digital in some format. And if you have it all in an Excel spreadsheet, well, that's a great start. But the things I could show you that you could do with that Excel spreadsheet, when you attach it to CRM, big difference. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And look, it's important to note that Go High Level is a preferred tool, and all of these that we're going to be mentioning, Christine's mentioning today, are preferred tools. However, the knowledge that Christine has goes well beyond these specific tools. This is just the preferred, tip of the iceberg, if you will, what you see often with some of the more successful coaches and authors and speakers and consultants and entrepreneurs out there. But there's two or three other options for you if you prefer, if you already have one, or if you prefer one that's a little different. But we're mentioning, or Christine's mentioning, the ones that she can wake up in her sleep and just go and help you build and help you get it done. So that's worth mentioning here too. Okay.
absolutely. There's a lot of choices out there. We have other clients using HubSpot, right? There's a lot of different choices. And this just happens to be my favorite. And yeah, in your sleep sometimes, right? When I've gotten a client's like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. And I've got to present tomorrow, right? And it's a late night call. And I'm like, okay, come on, let's get this fixed. You're okay. Don't panic. I got you. All right. So that's that whole clienting to a different level.
Yep. Yeah.
Not too often, but every once in a while, you got to pull it out when they need it. So Go High Level, get organized. Okay. So now that you've got your backbone set, right? Now you need creation tools, right? And this is huge for our aces, right? They need to have things because they're always pushing things out and promoting. So the creation tools that are some of my favorites, for example, is Magi. If you have not played with Magi, you're missing out. And I have to say, I do with all my clients is we actually set up a workspace for that particular client. And then we create a brand voice. And I'm going to tell you, when you go through and you literally choose brand voice as the persona and you go through it, ask you questions, say, I need a brand voice for whatever the client is. And we walk through and answer these questions. It wants to know about your values, what makes you unique, right? What's your unique proposition in the industry, right? It's looking for what's your tone, what's your voice. And by the time you finish building this out, I have to tell you, I have never felt so just, like somebody appreciates me and understands me, because the AI is so good at saying, oh, so you do this, this, and this, and oh, we see this. And I'm like, oh, I feel so good now, right? I feel validated because it's just that good. And it's so accurate when you start answering those questions. So if nothing else, get in there and build a brand voice. And then you can take that brand voice and run with it for everything else you do. Right now that it understands you, what your mission is and what you're trying to do, you can ask it to help you create all sorts of wonderful goodies. Like, okay, so I am a networking diva. Well, so what are some services that I could offer my clients? It literally will brainstorm for you on different services, and you're like, oh, I didn't even think of that one. Ooh, I like that, right? So, what are some multiple streams of income that could be beneficial in my business, right? What would be some great promotional ideas, right? I want to do whatever it is, whether it's a text marketing or an email campaign, right? You can ask for that advice. Now, remember, it is AI. And whereas it's great for advice, you don't want to just copy and paste things in. That's not going to be good. You just never know. Sometimes it goes a little bit off and you're like, oh, that's not what I meant to say at all. So be sure that you double check it. It doesn't replace having a professional marketer in your sphere because it gives you ideas, but you may not know all the answers or how to make things happen, right? And this TechStack, you wouldn't know it if you didn't talk to an expert, right? Who's used it over and over again. So remember, you ask for advice when you need it. But it allows my clients to be a lot more independent. Once we help them get their voice going, then they feel like, okay, I'm in the right spot, and they can have that confidence to move forward. We just built a brand voice last night for one of my clients, and they were like, "Ooh, well, can it tell us how to design our website?" Absolutely. And that's what we did. We used it to lay out their website. So nice practical use for these. So Magi is one of my favorites. Oh, and I should probably mention, don't tell anybody, but Magi's got some other new features. And one of the things it's got, it's always created images, but there's a cool feature in there, a Laura Lux, where I literally put a file together of, I don't know, 30 photos of myself, and I uploaded into it, and I asked it to create images for me of me. So I could tell it what I wanted. I wanted to be on a stage. I wanted to be in a classroom. I wanted to be teaching in a corporate office. And it actually took me, looks like me, put me in those settings. And of course, I'm in Texas, so I needed one with a cowboy hat and cowboy boots. And it was scary how good it was. It was absolutely phenomenal. And so much so, and my followers will hear this now. There's a picture I put up recently in a cowboy hat, and everybody's like, oh my goodness, that's awesome, right? It's so good that Facebook didn't even recognize it, that it was AI, and neither did my friends. So now that I've confessed that, I'll have to go back and put a little note in there.
It seems like this technology is really taken off, and it's only improving all the time. And you might get a little glitch here and there, but it's a great tool. I will say that if somebody has worked with you, Christine, or developed some like marketing documents, maybe just some vision or mission statements, and some strengths that they have for the marketplace, those kind of things, you can put that with some guidance from you. You can put that right into a tool like this and actually create more based on those 2 or 3 documents, or even presentations that you have. Maybe you have a slide deck that you've used for some of your talks or notes for different aspects of your uh, influencing game that you're playing, to be able to help other people. Bring that in properly with some coaching from Christine, and you're going to have a nice tree of awesomeness that starts developing from a tool like this. We just put together uh, a 90-day and a 3-year marketing plan built around previous documents already created. And we did have to make some adjustments. We did have to, go through some specific prompts because I've learned from people like Christine and Oz and Dustin and others. This really is a type of tool that I literally used last week and will use this week again. And it's that much part of the rhythm, because it shortens the time frame, and it helps you get to where you were going to get to anyway, but it just shortens the time frame and adds a little bit of extra spice.
Absolutely. I've used my AI for all sorts of things, from editing something to rewrite this a little bit, or change the angle so that or fix the punctuation and grammar in this. I mean, there's so many ways. And it isn't until you start thinking about the possibilities that you start realizing, oh, hold on, let me save myself a little time and a little brain power, right? Because we make so many decisions in a day. Sometimes it's nice to have something that just makes it a little bit easier for you.
Yeah. Especially as someone who might have, maybe they're a solopreneur. We call them lonelypreneurs around here. But if you have a small team, or you do most of the work yourself, to be able to have a coach like Christine and some tools like this, now you feel like you have a lot more possibilities. I'm going to challenge you as a friend, everybody in the room, everybody listening right now. Don't do things the way you did them 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Get yourself out of the "I can do it myself" mantra. Do not say that phrase. I shouldn't have even said it out loud. Do not say, "I can just do it myself." Have somebody help you. Use tools that are there to help you. And so this is one of those tools that we're spending a little extra time on it because it's so revolutionary. It's a once in a 500-year type revolution that we're in the middle of right now, and that this is one of the great tools that happen to be top of the stack right now. So this is
Absolutely.
good.
And I use it daily. I literally always have a window open with it, That's how often I use it. And I've just found that it helps the clients so much with just their clarity. So
Good.
great tool. Another one that I really like, and we actually had a show about this not too long ago. So go back into our YouTube and stretch your way back and go look at the Giver Marketing broadcast in the past. We talked about Course Buddy, and this is for our, ACEs, right? It's something that writes your courses, help you with your class outlines, the descriptions, right? Bonus offers, ebooks, all that kind of stuff. This is like gold, right? This is all the extra fun stuff that you need to create if that's the space that you're working in. Tools that are specifically designed for that. Woo, yeah. That's a great way to go. Things that just make your life a little bit easier. And I was actually talking to a ghostwriter the other day, and she was talking about, if you use AI to write your book, you really can't have it copyrighted at that point. So they're anti that, but it works great for ebooks, right? Promotional information, lead magnets, right? So works really well for that kind of stuff. But just keep that in mind. If you planned on doing a book that you're going to have copyrighted, you probably don't want to use AI to write it. That's going to be a problem.
That
Just
world
a heads
is
up.
that world is so interesting right now. And in a couple of years, we'll have a whole broadcast on how to navigate that world changing shift that's happening. So thanks, Christine, for mentioning that.
Absolutely. This is the wisdom that comes with somebody who does this every day with all sorts of different professionals, right? Now, this is another one I've really been enjoying lately. There's a lot of different AI tools out there. This one, Pop AI, is great for creating your PowerPoint, your presentation, your decks. I know when I've worked on things, it could take hours to put those things together, right? You want it to look good. You're doing a presentation. Well, and I know with the ACEs, a lot of times your authors, they're doing a lot of presentations, right? That's a major part of their business usually. Or if they're working with clients or they're trying to bring clients in and prospecting or teaching from stage and, all that kind of stuff. This is it right here. This one I literally can put in, I use my Magi to create my outline. I drop it into here and then it builds out from there. And all of a sudden, bloop, 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 and it creates all the slides. And then I can just go in and move things around, swap out images, but it puts images, it puts the text, and you can choose how much detail versus how little detail you want to put on it and make that decision. If you put too much detail though, then it goes off the slide. It hasn't quite adjusted to make it into a second slide, right? Yeah. But if you choose just your basic, right, it's amazing what it produces. And you're like, oh, so I would say it's taking, a 3-hour job of creating slides for a presentation and taking that into about an hour worth of work now, because I'll start it here and then I'll move it into Canva, which is the next one. But this is a great tool. Get in there, and it's really not that expensive. I think I spend under $15 a month on this one, and it's worth every penny. Right? Because I take it from there, drop it into Canva, and then I can kind of play with it and make it look exactly the way I want it using a format that I'm used to using. So I use Canva all the time, right? But oh my goodness, what a difference. It's, if you don't have Canva, there's other alternatives out there too, but this is my preferred one for creating. It does everything. If you want to make reels, if you want to do presentations, if you want, flyers, you name it, it does it. And you can even post from here to your social media if you want, right? So Canva is a nice, fun one to play with. And one of the features, oh, I don't want to use this color scheme. Oh, I'm going to change it here. Oh, look, this button. If I click this one button, it changes it across all my slides. Little time savers. Trying to go through and change on every slide. So they're coming into more and more of this kind of stuff that makes it just a little bit easier for you. Or magic edit. I'm like, or background remover. It used to be an old school, right? I remember doing some of the software like Photoshop, and it would literally take you forever to sit there and take the background out of a photo, select, reverse image, erase, clear. It was this whole process. Now it's like, oh, background remover, click, done.
Yeah.
So take advantage of these tools.
You can't really go wrong with Canva on most of these type of projects. And the graphic designers out there are going to be saying, what about this? And what about this? Well, listen, this is just to make sure you get yourself going. You're not stuck in a place of being frozen because the tools are just becoming too much. This is a quick and clean way to go ahead and get those presentations, visuals dialed in a way that makes sense. So very, very good.
Right. It's not going to create your vectors that you might need in order to go put something on clothing or right. This is where your graphic designers that know how to use all the high tech software. Thank goodness for them, right? Because we still need them to do that kind of stuff. But if you wanted to design your own business card, right? Canva's great for that. I've taught courses on that in the past where, get in there, design your own stuff. You just, once again, I like tools that allow small businesses to be able to have the freedom to do what they want without always having to rely on expensive experts in every area, right? Kind of gives them a little bit more freedom.
Yeah, so we can always use what we built in Canva and hand those over to other experts later, and then they can end up doing some amazing things. I noticed when I was tinkering around on Canva recently, involved with an event where 30,000 people were going to show up, and they said, hey, we want you as one of our sponsors. And I needed a QR code. And I know there's other tools that can do maybe even, slightly different things. But if you're in a hurry and you need to grab something very quickly that is going to be pretty high quality, and even printable, right? Quality. I think if I remember, Canva is the one I ended up choosing. And Christine, you might have a better tool for those kind of things, but I'm just mentioning that as a use case for what I happened to do, and it turned out pretty good. So
the versatility of Canva and the different options and what they're always adding something to it. So I love the ones that have been around like that, and they just keep adding and making it better and better and better. Thank goodness. It's the all-in-one tool concept where you have multiple uses for something. It's really a kind of a nice quality that people have been adding to their software. So my tech stack is pretty robust. So you can see by how many things we've mentioned so far. And
these aren't going to go away anytime soon. So you can play with them. If you like them, great. If not, you can ask Christine for other options. Alternatives. I will also say every professional has their tool stack, whether you're a mechanic, whether your preferred tool stack, right? Whether you're a mechanic or an attorney or there's different processes and tools that you prefer, and it might be slightly different and give you a little bit of an advantage versus maybe what somebody else is doing. So it's your style, it's your tool stack, it's your expertise, it's your experience, it's your gift mix, it's your psychology, it's your just way of doing things that makes you special. That's where your fingerprint, your thought leadership, your strength, that becomes your fingerprint. Like, oh my gosh, they make amazing presentations. Or man, it's like they don't repeat words all the time. Like they're able to use language in a way that it just pulls me in. Or man, their ebook was amazing compliment to their presentation, and it seems so congruent to like it was working together, and all that is because of these or the follow-up was amazing after that event, or whatever the case may be. People are like, man, I'm very impressed with like the professionalism here. Like I knew this person 5 years ago and they didn't have any of this, but now they're bringing their A game. Like that's why we call them aces, right? Like they're bringing something. So Christine, I appreciate you kind of sharing your pancake stack. I love it.
Absolutely. Canva just is a great way, like you mentioned, the branding for your business, right? You can upload your images of yourself. You can take them from AI, from your Magi, whatever it is, and pull them in there, pull the backgrounds out, drop yourself on, for your branded images. There's so much. And even with the video, you can take the background out of video. I mean, there is so much fun. I was just creating the reels for Giver Marketing using Canva. So it comes in handy. Now we also have a bunch of promotional tools because this is the space you're playing. If you're one of the aces, right?
Here's the sizzle. Here's the goodies right here. This is where it starts getting public. Let's go.
Exactly. So this is where we're putting it out. So I like the Great Discovery because they do have an option where you can host your courses there. So one flat price and unlimited courses. I mean, if you've looked at some of the other options, you see how expensive they are, the monthly fees attached to it, right? So I like this one just for the simplicity. And then it also has an affiliate army to help push out your courses. But for me, this is a nice, great place to start. They also do presentations. And so they do different summits, right? So it's kind of a community of your thought leaders, your authors, your coaches. So it's kind of a great playground to play in. So I really enjoy using the Great Discovery as a place to put my courses. Now, another thing for promotions is StreamYard, right? So we use StreamYard. That's what we're blasting this out on. It gives you an opportunity to have multiple people on screen. We're actually going to be using it for our summit here in January. And so it's a great way to push things out. We can do screen shares, all sorts of stuff. But StreamYard also, because we talked about them adding more and more features, StreamYard has added more features. So I can pre-schedule things that are already pre-recorded, which is nice. So I can actually go out of town on vacation, have all my client stuff pre-recorded before I go and ready to blast out. But they've also got an option now, it's in beta, where they're doing clips for you. So I can ask it to go in and make those real clips that you want, or clips if you want to do the wide ones, right? So actually, it's kind of like Opus, right? A lot of people might use Opus for creating clips. You can actually do that in StreamYard now.
I was going to ask you about that. Okay, all right.
I've been creating some in there, so it's been working really nice. So there's some nice features. Plus, they have a back end also where attached to kind of a directory so that speakers can reach out to other speakers, right? So other people that have StreamYard accounts. So you can ask to be on their shows or invite them onto your shows, because it's kind of a podcasty kind of space, right? So that's nice. So they're adding in some of the back end features that are pretty, but
the good ones keep refining or adding or doing something that makes it more valuable along the way. So I appreciate you mentioning that about these tools. Great job.
Yeah, one of the things to warn you, though, the price has gone up. They almost doubled recently, and I was like, "Oh, what happened there? Ouch!" I hate when that happens, but it's kind of the way things are going on with the economy. Prices are going up. You're just going to have to accept it. So, just to warn you, it's a little bit higher than it used to be, but it comes with
I was
some
buying oranges yesterday, and the same thing happened. So, like, I don't know that maybe this is a conversation for another broadcast, like how economics impacts your business and positioning and offers and all that. But at the end of the day, if the tool's going to save you time and then promote you well, like that's a big part of the ACES world. So thank you for kind of giving us a warning on that too. Really appreciate that. StreamYard, there's a couple of other ones, honorable mentions like Riverside.fm and some other ones, but they're different. They're built for like different ways of doing things. I love that right now we're streaming to what 2, 4, 6, 8 plus social channels right now as we're speaking, as we're broadcasting live, and then of course it's loading up on YouTube and other places for future benefit, right? So the other social platforms are going to be able to host those videos really well. And I think we have broadcasts going into groups right now, LinkedIn feeds, like we all YouTube, like all sorts of different places and spaces. And there's some small limitations, but it's not really much anymore. They've found a way to work through all those that I could see. And as long as you know what you're doing, have a coach like Christine, you should be able to go ahead and broadcast. What if you're going to record something, or if you're going to talk to somebody or be on a podcast or interview somebody? I've been right in the middle of talking to people. I'm like, we should just broadcast this. Like, this is a great conversation. Like, let's just do it. It'll benefit both of our audiences. Christine, I think that's how we started working together. We're like, why don't we just broadcast this? Like, this is amazing. And and now, like, years
we
later,
do it all the time. I was on a meeting with Oz, and he likes to create the AI art. And so we were having a meeting, and I said, hold on, time out. We're going to broadcast this. And literally, hold on a second. boom, and started showing off some of the stuff he and Dustin were making with the AI because they were doing like holiday Zoom backgrounds. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, no, I don't want to know about how to do it. Just show it off. Show
Yep.
it to everybody. This is so cool, right? They've
Yep.
got Batman in front of a Christmas tree. I'm cracking up, right?
Yeah. You're like the
Amy,
networking and promotional diva at that point. You're like, let's promote this. Let's go. So yeah, I appreciate you bringing StreamYard to the Giver Marketing Network as well. So definitely a tool, at least as of right now, it is a preferred tool for many. So this is good.
Yeah, and there's a lot to choose from, right? You find one that you're comfortable with and like space. This has opportunities for larger broadcasts if you want to do webinar style. But other ones, Restream gives you options. I mean, so there's a lot of programs you can pick and use. This one is my preferred method. We've been using it actually for quite a while with Giver Marketing too.
Yes,
We've been using it for a couple of years. So yeah, lots of experience. I realized the other day, I'm like, I've produced like over 800 broadcasts. So I was like, oh, I didn't realize I did that much, but I do. And those are just the one I count, right?
Yep, that's right. That's just the ones you do. Like that doesn't count the ones you're on and other ones. So you're essentially a television producer at this point, Christine. Just embrace it. Just embrace it. That's what you're doing. You're the modern day broadcast producer. So here we go.
Exactly. StreamYard is a great tool to do that with.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Part of the marketing stack, the DFW Marketing Diva, this is an online course that teaches you the blueprint for kind of online businesses. And the big part of it is teaching you how to promote your business, like through video. So that's a really cool one if you want to know more about that. And this one actually has a reseller rights for 100% commission. And you don't see that very often. So this is kind of fun one. I blame Katie. Katie Jordan pulled me in on this one. So we're both involved in this. I love this though. It's a lot of times right now we know video is king. Right? Video is the thing. So this kind of gives you that nice background on how you can do that and how to make that work. So that's one of my newer additions to the tech stack. That one's probably been in my tech stack for about the last 6 months. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Now we're also in my Diva networking space. Here we go. Connection tools. All right. So my most trusted is one of my most used ones. And I've actually done a show on this. If you go back and look for my most trusted on our Giver Marketing channel, you'll probably find something on that. I'm pretty sure I did a show on that. But basically, it's a Chrome extension that it's like the secret back community of LinkedIn. Okay. And you're like, what? No, really, it's a little stalker app. It pops up and it follows you around whenever you're in LinkedIn. Right. But it makes it so easy to make connections because I love doing that. So you'll notice if you follow me on LinkedIn at all, you'll see posts where it says, oh, I'm so excited to introduce this person to this person. Go make magic together. Because I can actually go in the back office, say that, okay, this is a trusted connection. That's a trusted connection. I want to introduce them. It literally takes me less than 3 minutes to make an introduction. It will automatically send an email to both of them, introducing them to each other. It'll create a post to put on LinkedIn that I then add an image to because, you need images if you want to draw people's attention. And then it will also do a 3-way communication within LinkedIn. So it is like my go-to LinkedIn toy. It's just amazing. And that's when I want to give introductions. But if you like warm introductions, as you add people to your My Most Trusted, right, and other people are added to it, you can ask for warm introductions. So literally, I can go in and say, okay, I want to meet coaches or consultants. I can type in, search, and say, who do I know that knows these people? And it'll actually tell me who I'm connected with that knows them, right? So I'd be like, hey, can you introduce me to so-and-so? There's a form, and I just say one sentence on why I want to meet them, right? I've got this really cool TechStack tool, list of tech that I would love to share with them. I think they would find valuable for their business. Totally free, right? And they're like, oh, right. So asking for those warm introductions, and I would say 99% of the time, people are like, sure, I'll introduce you, right? Warm introduction. What a great way to get in the door to talk to somebody. I know we do a lot of LinkedIn outreach and people will send, different ways to get in the room with somebody they want to talk to, but a warm introduction will get you there a lot faster than anything else. So this is the tool for that. If you want a demo, you want to know how that works, I love showing it off because it's just so fast and easy.
This is one of those tools you could, with your certain specific way of thinking and doing business, this is one of those tools that if you're trying to find one way, or a primary way is probably a better way to put it, to complement some of the other things you're doing, one primary way to get yourself on podcasts, get yourself in rooms that you want to be in, get yourself in conversations and have appointments with people that you want to talk to specifically, and be known as a giver and not somebody who's spamming or pitching people, but just do a classy, relational, we call it emotionally and relationally intelligent approach to networking. Christine Deane is one of the most skilled at this I've ever seen. So you definitely want to check this alone could be a game changer for the coming year and the years to come, if they were to just leverage the tool with some class, like just do it in a very specific way. With Christine's coaching, you're going to get yourself literally double the results you would just kind of randomly, because we don't want, I heard one mentor tell me, certain forms of busyness is laziness. We want precision, classy interaction with the right people. And so your appointment should be going up in quality over time, not down. And if you see yourself going down in quality of appointments, some say, oh, I need more leads. What you need is higher quality appointments. You don't necessarily just need leads. You need a coach to help you avoid the busyness of business and go into the high class quality engagement of relationship building, aka power partnerships, channel partnerships, influencer exchanges, exchanging stages virtually and in person. These kind of things are so key, and they're built on relationships, and they're trusted relationships. The word trust, it's the key to marketing and sales. Like, if you don't have trust, what you have is a widget that you're trying to spam the universe with, and even then people are going to have to recommend them to other people, so the trust level is going to have to go up anyway. So especially with these authors, coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs, speakers, influencers of all types, because you're offering something extremely valuable. Usually there's a medium or high ticket price point. Maybe there's an entry level, but usually at some point there's like some larger like experience that you're wanting to have with folks. And you have to build trust. You have to go from a 2 to a 5 to a 7 to an 8 as fast as humanly possible without losing your soul. Like, you have to do it right. And Christine, I appreciate you bringing this tool. Thank you.
It is. It's a great tool for building those relationships. I had a post the other day from Joseph Luckett, author, international best-selling author of 0 to 100, and he was asking, okay, how many introductions do you want this year or this next year? And I was like, I've never stopped and really thought about it. I've never put a number on it. But as we know, if you're not putting numbers and goals, you can't track what you're doing. You don't know progress, right? So it makes sense to actually put a number on there. What are your goals? And I stopped to think about it. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go back and look at my most trusted and see how many connections I've made, right? How many connections I've requested. It actually made it so that I could track those statistics that I would not have tracked otherwise. So I was like, ooh, well, that came in handy because there's a history of the introductions that you've made. And I was like, oh, wow, that number is kind of big. I did not realize I was doing that many, right? I probably made 300 introductions this last year.
Come on. Hey, in the comments, whether you're watching this live or in the future, this in the comments, put how many introductions you want to give and receive. And they can be totally equal, like 50 of each or 20 of each or 200 of each or whatever you want. But put a number on it. Put it out into the world. Let people know. And you might even get an introduction while you're putting it in the comments. You just never know. So put it in the comments. How many introductions do you want to give and how many do you want to receive? Just put give 50, receive 50, or whatever the number is. Put it in there, put it out there, and you'll be rewarded for commenting for sure. So that'll be good.
Absolutely. Why not put it as part of your strategy? Plan that out. Right. This is a great tool for that. Now, once you've got them agreeing to want to talk to you and communicate and further the conversation, well, where are you going to go to do that? So one of my favorites is Be Connected. They've got a tool. I mean, it's a whole community also, and they have courses and things. But my favorite tool that they have is the room that you meet in. It's kind of, people are familiar with Zoom rooms, right? You've got a chat side, you share screens, and that. This one allows you to do the same thing. You can do breakout rooms and things. But the difference is you've got a side panel where my professional version has 3 buttons that I can designate with an image and a click-through link. Instead of telling them, oh, go find it in the chat, and the chat's scrolling and you got to chase something to go find that link, right? And there's multiple people posting things. Well, with this, my buttons, since I'm hosting it and it's my room, I get to have those 3 buttons right there open at all times. So if it's a call to action I want them to take, like book that follow-up appointment, click that bottom button. Or if it's my freebie right here in the middle, be sure to grab that. Whatever it is you want to direct them to, you've got 3 buttons. You can send them wherever you want to do. So it's kind of the ultimate sales opportunity right there within your room. It's your room. It's branded with your colors that you want on the background of it, right? So you have so much control over that room that you don't get in the other popular ones that people are using like Zoom. So people will come in, they're like, ooh, I've never seen this before. What's this, right? Because it's branded for me. I love that.
So it's like a Zoom alternative with some extra bells and whistles that make it more engaging, interacting, and clickable.
Right, brandable, and it's free. It's great for sales because those buttons are right there. You can change them anytime you want, so you can have exactly what you want in those set up for your buttons before the meeting starts or during a webinar. Right, you can have those go-to buttons on the side. So it's really nice to have that option because you don't see that in the other ones. I would say I use that daily also because I use that for all of my meetings. And the free version of signing up for Be Connected gets you 60 minutes with that room at a time. So as opposed to some of the other ones that only give you 40 minutes or 45 minutes, you actually get a full 60 on the free version. Mine, of course, is unlimited. Come visit me, come play in my room. Just saying, I love it.
So that's per meeting, right? 60 minutes per meeting.
Yeah, per meeting. Yeah. So you can always sign out and sign back in like the other one. But so you actually have a little bit more time, which is nice. It's hard for me to not talk and just do a 45-minute meeting. I admit it. You've got it down to an art form, Timothy. And if anybody wants to know more about the 10-minute discovery call, right? Go back and find our broadcast about that. But I'm a talker.
Yeah.
So if you need help and you're like, man, that's a lot of tech, right? And you're like, but I'd like to know more about some of these. Well, reach out, book something on my calendar. Let's have a conversation. I would love to show off in more detail because we didn't even dive in. Can you imagine how long this broadcast would be if we actually went to all of those cool websites? If you want a list of my stack, right, put something in the chat saying, hey, I want your tech stack. Right? Or book an appointment with me. I'll go through and answer any questions you have about it. There's just certain tools that you need for success, right? And if you're in that ACEs category, these are my absolute favorite tools that I use every day with my clients. And they love it. We walk through on how to make it happen. And they all just tie together so nicely, right? They all just pretty much, if you create here, put here, promote there, right? It just takes you right through the journey.
Cool. Well, we put the link in the chat. It should come up. If it doesn't automatically, go ahead and copy that or scan the QR code on your screen. Take a screenshot real quick. Most cameras and devices can recognize these QR codes very quickly now. So go ahead and just take your camera out and take a screenshot, even right now as we're talking. Put some comments in the broadcast chat in the comment sections down below. No matter when you're watching this video, so that Christine can check in every once in a while, make sure your questions are answered. And also, it doesn't hurt to, at, at the very least, take a screenshot of the QR code or take a picture of the QR code, but also reach out to Christine Deane on LinkedIn or other social platforms. But on LinkedIn is a good choice, or other social platforms, because then as she does more training, more drops little tips, drops posts. Sometimes the best way to learn is to follow somebody else who's doing it and leveraging the tools. Get yourself familiar with what's actually the results of those tools, and then reach out to them, book an appointment. But that's why we're doing this today. So you can see a little bit of the tech stack, book that appointment, connect with Christine. Her LinkedIn profile is in the comments. You can just click right there as well if you prefer to do it that way. And just mention Giver or TechStack or Show Me the Way or Be My Mentor, or say something that indicates that you saw some of her broadcasts, and make sure that you connect with her. Set a time as soon as you can. There seems to always be a holiday around the corner, no matter what time of the year. So make sure and book something before she gets booked out too far or she's traveling, and just grab something as soon as you can. Well, Christine, any other last thoughts around this conversation? It can be overwhelming for some people. Like, that's a lot. I don't want to sign up for 5 more tools and try to do it all myself. Like, can you address that? Like, that feeling of overwhelm for some people. Some people jump into it. They're like, give me more tools. And then other people are like, I don't need more tools. Like, can you address that?
Right. A lot of times it's a matter of looking at your business saying, where am I putting all my energy and all my time? And what tools do I need to make that just a little bit easier? Right. You narrow it down to your favorite, your top that fits into the flow of your business. And you might realize if you take a look and you're saying, I'm putting a lot of time into, right, there might be a tool specifically for whatever that is. Like I said, I was on a hunt. I wanted something that would make presentations easy. So I was looking, when I found Pop AI, I was like, oh my goodness, yes, game changer, right? So look and see where you're putting your time and your energy in your business. And you may find that there's a tool out there that can be helpful. And I love hearing about new tools. So maybe you've got a favorite tool that you want to share with me. Well, book an appointment. Come show me. Take me on a tour of your tool, right? Because you just never know. There's so many options out there. Find if you've got something that works really well, we want to hear about it. I mean, sure, why not? You can't keep up. When it comes to technology, you wait 3 seconds and there's something new. Right. Yep. So I've got a best friend that's in IT. And so he always says, what, hold on, 30 seconds have passed and you are no longer an expert.
Yeah, and so that's your job, is to keep up on those and keep refreshing yourself every 30 seconds and making sure that the tools that have been used, tried and true, and they're not going anywhere. And then you also experiment with the other tools for your clients, or you ask your clients, are you willing to experiment with me? We could probably save a lot of time if we spend a little time on the front end. We can save a lot of time and produce better results long term. And so if you're a long-term thinker, definitely connect with Christine. She's going to set the stage for that journey. And especially if you're someone who's really serious about your message and your knowledge, and you're in it to win it for the long term, like this is where you want to be, is thinking through, okay, what people and tools are going to be supporting and bringing an infrastructure to this long game. I mean, overnight successes oftentimes take several years, like it at the least in many cases. Musicians, influencers, business professionals, even in traditional jobs, overnight successes and people who really hit their stride oftentimes takes mentors, it takes tools, and it takes practice. And so that's why we're here today, to kind of encourage you that you can do it. Don't give up. If it's been 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you're just starting. You're like, oh my gosh, I thought I would be a multimillionaire by now. Maybe you are. Maybe you want to add a 0 to that. I don't know. But the point is if you're just at year 1, 2, or 3, you're just starting the game. The first several years I was in the game, I didn't have a Christine Deane around to help me. I had a couple of other folks just helping me like with my psychology, just like my mental like health and some things like that. But I didn't have a Christine Deane in the first year or two. I didn't make a lot in the first couple of years. But once Christine Deane and a few others got in the game like with me, they were part of the team. Like I'm part of your team, you're part of my team. Like let's go. We're collaborators. We're rocking together side by side. Once that started happening, it was game on. Like we were going from the minor leagues to the professionals. Like we were this is the way. And if you're just doing this on the side and you want to just bless your family and a few friends and a few others, that's fine too. But you can slowly build something that before you know it, you're going to have to make a decision. Do I do this full time or do I do this full time? And if you're kind of like trying to figure that out, we have many, many people, Christine and I have even worked with together where they're trying to figure that out. Like, is this my calling? Is this what I need to be spending most of my time in? Or is this a side hustle, hobby, blessing that I would give to those that come my way without too much intentionality? It's a fair question, and there's no shame either way. There's no guilt either way. It's just a question you want to ask going to new seasons, new quarters, new years, those kind of things. So we wanted to bless you today with some tech stack, and Christine's the one to do it. So thank you, Christine. Appreciate that.
So much fun. Yeah, this is a sweet spot for me. I love working with those that are on a mission to do good, right? And so this is kind of one of the things I love to do is, like you said, talk to them about is if this is their calling and they're trying to figure out a lot of times how to transition from what they do to pay the bills into something that they feel truly inspired and they want to help spread the word and help people and helping them make that transition. As I spent a lot of time with that space actually. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Don't think that just because it's not what you're currently doing to pay your bills doesn't mean that you can't put multiple streams of income into your new business so that you transform and that becomes what you do all the time and it pays the bills. So
Speaking of paying the bills, some of these tools, many of the ones you mentioned, have like little affiliate links that you can basically share with others while you're using the tools and get some, if not all of the cost paid for just by sharing with your audience or your people or whoever your team is talking to. So don't worry too much about the cost of these tools. They're all very low and reasonable cost tools anyway, but you can literally make, break even or make money actually using these tools. So the tools themselves can pay for themselves, save you time, give you better results, and start paying you if you do it right. So there's many people out there that are making hundreds and hundreds of dollars just to cover their business operation costs just by sharing a few of these tools. So this is a you talk about income streams and micro streams coming into your big river. You might have a main income channel, but there's all these little streams that kind of help support that and keep the activity moving and going. And it kind of pushes you to continue and go to that next level anyway. So super fun. God bless you guys. Talk to you soon. Christine, good job. See you soon. Oh, what about Wednesday networking?
Oh, yep, that's tomorrow. So on Wednesdays we have networking for marketers. So don't be a lonelypreneur. Come hang out with us. Have a great time. What we do is we meet for an hour and we get to know each other, and so we can white label, help each other. And we've really been having a good time with that. So if that's something that you don't want to be a lonelypreneur, then come hang out with us. You're always welcome. Pop in. We won't be meeting on Christmas, however, just to let you know there was no meeting on Christmas.
Certain holidays we don't meet, but with that link, you can just grab your spot. It'll populate your calendar, and if something gets canceled, we'll let you know. Don't worry about that. But ultimately, you want to just have that link so that you can stay connected with Christine. She's the one that hosts and facilitates that meeting. Sometimes there's a few people, sometimes there's a lot of people. It just depends on the week and all those kind of things. Because it is a free event, it's not free because you're spending your time, but it's a no cost event for marketing, communications, media, PR, IT professionals that are supporting this kind of marketing, communications, martech kind of community that we have. And this is one of those beautiful rooms that we like to promote because there is no additional cost or no cost to it except for your time to jump in and say, I want to network. I don't want to be alone anymore. Like I want to actually have colleagues that I can talk to about this stuff and not feel embarrassed. Like I just want to share like what my story is and the tools I like and how I like to work with power partners. And maybe somebody in the room could be a power partner. We've had so many people find extreme power partnerships, like to the point where they're purchasing each other's assets and equity and companies and like super fun things. That's not going to happen on a Wednesday, but you at least get to know people enough to be able to work with them. And then the possibilities become, I mean, we've got people going from, making $2,000 or $3,000 a month to last time I heard one of our members broke $500,000 in 1 month. And I'm just like, what in the world? Like, this is amazing. Like, and it was because of this connection that led to this connection that led to this connection, the power of networking, which is right up your alley, Christine. So I want to thank you for kind of being that model and example and facilitator of those things. So we'll see you soon. Talk to you soon. Blessings.